Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Amanda. Today I'm going to be doing my current flawless foundation routine, which I'm wearing on my face right now. I am sick. I know I mentioned it like at least 3 times in this video, so I don't want to get too much into it right now. But yeah, this is just my current flawless foundation routine. It's really been working for me, even though my skin hasn't been the best lately. So yeah, if you're interested in finding out how I do my foundation and my whole face, then just keep on watching. Alright, so as you can see, I already have my eyes and my eyebrows done. Also, I am a little sick right now, so sorry if my voice sounds a little nasally and off. But yeah, I'm sick right now. Not feeling my best, but I really wanted to film this video. So my eyes are half done and my brows are done, and I'm gonna do my face now. So honestly, I have not really been priming lately. I normally double up on primers. I only ever use my real primer if I am going to be using my MAC strobe cream. But as you guys can see, my skin is not at its best right now. I have a lot of acne scarring and bug bites literally everywhere. And I have a lot of texture, and so I just don't really want to enhance that texture by using like a luminous base. So honestly, I just moisturize, and I use my e.l.f. Daily Hydration Moisturizer, which is almost gone. But so I just put this all over my face with my hands, and I did just wash my hands. You definitely want to make sure that your hands are nice and clean if you're going to be applying any products to your face with your fingers. So the next thing for primer that I do, like I said, I normally double up on primers. I've been really liking to do a luminous primer and then a pore filling primer, and I just got this little sample of the Professional Pearl Primer, and I've really been liking putting this just on my nose and right here. Otherwise, I use the primer by The Ordinary, just in that same place. I've been really liking doing this lately. It just makes everything look nice and blurred and perfect, and I don't know, I just really notice a difference when I do this, and I really like it. And then whatever's left on my fingers, I just put on my chin and like under my nose, and then a little bit right here. It's just whatever's left over though, no additional product. So for foundation, what I've really been liking lately is actually the Fenty Beauty Foundation. When I first got this, I liked it, but it wasn't like a favorite. But recently, I haven't bought any new foundations, and I just wanted to use some of the ones that I haven't used in a long time, and this one just really worked well for me, and so I've been using it more and more, and I really have been liking it. And I'm going to apply it using the Eco Tool sponge. Mine is a little beat up, but I still really like it. It's really soft, and I just find that it applies the foundation very evenly. So I'm going to use a couple pumps on the back of my hand and start applying that on my face. I use the small side, and then I just start pouncing it in. I really like this sponge. I feel like it doesn't absorb too much of the product. Some sponges just completely absorb everything. You barely get any usage. I feel like that didn't make sense. I'm like so tired I can't even function. But that was like one dip into the back of my hand, and I already covered so much. But yeah, this foundation has really been working well for me, and this sponge just blends it out so quickly and seamlessly. I just did my eyebrows and I cut them, and there's these little teeny tiny eyebrow hairs stuck all over my face. So yeah, you could use a brush for this. I personally am not much of a brush person. It depends on the foundation. Like for stick foundations, I prefer a brush, but for a foundation that's as liquidy as this one is, I definitely prefer a sponge. So yeah, I know you're supposed to technically start at the center of your face and work your way out, but I lose a lot of coverage on the outer portion of my face, so I usually like to start there, because wherever you start is where the most coverage is, because that's where the most product is, and then you're just kind of spreading it everywhere else. So on my forehead I start in the middle, but on my cheeks I start kind of down towards my jaw, because that's where I need the most coverage, because that's where it fades off. So that's just a little tip. I know you're technically supposed to start in the middle, but like the center of your face, but I've just found that this is what works best for me personally. So yeah, so that was about 2.5 pumps to cover my entire face, which is not bad. and it's just a really nice even base. So now I'm going to go in with concealer, and of course you guys already know my favorite is the Tarte Shape Tape, and I use either the shade Fair or the shade Fair Beige. Fair Beige is a little bit more pink, Fair is a little bit more yellow. I am going to go in with Fair today, and I just put a really little bit right here under my eyes in a little teeny triangle. I don't drag it the whole way out because it's just way too much product when I do that. A little bit right here on my forehead. I have not dipped back in, by the way. On my nose. And then that's it. It doesn't look like a lot, but this is so full coverage that you don't need a lot. And I'm just going to use the same sponge, blend it out. I actually normally do my eyes last. I don't know why I just went to go in to do my eyes. But just blend it in. Same way that you blend it in. Well, same way that I blended in the foundation. All bouncing motions, never swiping, and just really work it in and make sure it's nice and blended. No harsh lines. Oh my gosh. I'm in my filming closet and it's so hot in here. This sponge is really nice for getting, like if you put your pointer finger here and kind of fold it a little bit, it's really nice for getting right up underneath your eyes. So when I blend it out, I bring it out here like I would with, like when I used to put on concealer, I would swipe it the whole way out there when I was applying the concealer. Now I just blend it out, like as you can see, like it covers all that space with just this little amount. So you don't need as much as you think you do. It's good for your skin because your skin will look less cakey, and it's also good because you're not, like you're saving more product, so it'll last longer, which is always nice. I'm so sorry, I feel like I sound like I'm like tired and dead. I honestly am. I work tonight and I wanted to film this video while I had the chance. Unfortunately, I'm just so under the weather, which is weird because I feel like I haven't had a cold in a long time. Now all of a sudden, of course, the biggest thing when I do my concealer is making sure that I blend really well right in here, because that is where my foundation breaks up the most. So I like to make sure I get some concealer in there to get that little bit of extra coverage, since the foundation is definitely going to break up if I don't put concealer on. So now I'm going to cream contour. Not cream contour, it's kind of like cream bronzing, I guess, because I've really been liking this lately. I've used the L'Oreal True Match Fusion Crayon Corrector. It looks like this. I got it at Walmart a while ago, and mine is in the shade Medium Deep. And so I just use this and I just put a little bit right above like the crease. So if I suck in my lips, that little like divot would be right here. So I put it just a little bit above because it always goes down a little when I blend. So right above there. And then also like just around the edges of my forehead. I'm not precise with it because we're going to blend it out, so it doesn't really matter if you mess it up. And then that's all I do because it's too orangey to put on my nose. It actually looks like the exact same color as my shirt. And then I'm going to use this brush. This is the Crown brush. It's just like a duo fiber brush, and I found that it works really well for blending this out. And I'm just going to start and do circular motions. I'm not using a ton of pressure. These little baby hairs always get in the way. Does anyone else ever have that problem? But yeah, I'm not using a ton of pressure. And I'm just going to keep going in circular motions until it's all nice and blended. And as you can see, it's extremely easy to blend. I just really have been liking the way this looks lately with the cream contour. I know a lot of people are really like afraid of cream contouring or bronzing or whatever, because this isn't really contouring, but it's really not hard as long as you have like a good product and a good brush, or even your sponge. Like I've blended this with a sponge before. I just find that it's faster with the brush and it blends really easily. But as long as you find what works for you, it's not that hard, and it's not anything to really be afraid of. And it just looks so flawless. I just love the way it looks. And then same thing on my forehead. Circular motions. You want to make sure, like I am pretty bald up in here. I know that sounds gross, but you want to make sure you bring it all the way back, because it's really awkward if it's like tan right here and then white back here. So make sure if you have any, like, I have really thin hair, so I do have those little like bald spots. So make sure that if you have thin hair like me, or just have little patches in your hair, that you bring the bronze all the way back so it's not a super harsh line. And then once everything is nice and blended, I just go back in with that sponge with no additional product and just kind of like stamp underneath of it to kind of clean it up a little bit. This just has like whatever's left over from my concealer and foundation on it. And I go back on my forehead just to make sure everything is seamless. So for my under eyes, I used to bake a lot, and if I bake, I use the RCMA No Color Powder or my Coty Airspun powder. Most days I just will use my e.l.f. small tapered brush and my Coty Airspun powder and just stamp it underneath. But what I've really been liking to do lately, what I've noticed, I normally use a dry sponge when I bake, but what I've noticed is that it's way too drying, and it actually works better if I use a wet sponge. So I don't like to use the same one I use for the rest of my face. So I just have this one from Shop Miss A, and I'm just going to take a little bit of my Coty Airspun powder, just a little bit, and I'm going to just bake right up underneath my eyes, really close, because that's where I have the most creasing, and that's where I need it to be really locked in. So just right up under there. And I'm just pressing it in with the sponge. And then with my e.l.f. small tapered brush, I'm just going to take some on the rest of it and press it in on my nose. I'm going to actually blend out. Yeah, I just put some on my nose. Make sure you really get in these creases over here. My upper lip. Right here where your smile lines are, you want to make sure. I get really bad smile lines, so I always have to make sure I set there. And I'm not using a lot of product. I have a very small amount in here, and I'm not dipping right in. I'm just kind of getting a little bit because my skin is dry, so I don't want too much powder. And I'm just going to set the rest of my face very lightly with that. And then I'm going to sweep away what was right underneath my eyes baking. I don't leave it there for too long because, like I said, it'll get way too dry for me. Alright, and now I'm going to go in with bronzer, and my favorite bronzer is the ColourPop bronzer. I don't know what shade I have because it doesn't say. It might say on the back of the pan because like it came, but I don't know how to take the pan out, but it looks like this. So I'm just going to use this, and my favorite brush to use right now is the Luxie 514. It's actually a blush brush, but I just really like it for bronzer. And I'm going to take just a little bit and just kind of set that cream bronzer because we don't really need too much more color. Just kind of want to set everything that we already put down. And then I just go over that with my e.l.f. brush with no additional product on it just to make sure everything is blended. And then for blush, I have really been loving the NARS blush in Orgasm. I really like it because if you can see, it has this beautiful gold sheen to it. And because I've been doing such a matte face because of my recent issue with texture, I really love that extra glow added to my cheeks. So I'm going to put this on my cheeks. I don't know why I'm not capable of talking, using the Real Techniques blush brush. And I'm not going to take a lot, just a little bit. Tap it off and just put it right on the apples of my cheeks and kind of swipe it back. Now do you see like that nice, like this is this side, it gives you just such a nice glow. I really love it. This is such an oldie but goodie. I feel like it used to be so popular and now it gets so overlooked. And I'm also going to put just a little bit on the tip of my nose. Well, not really the tip of my nose, just kind of across my nose, kind of for that sun-kissed look. And then once again, just to make sure everything's really blended because I don't like when it's too harsh, I'm just going in with this brush. I don't know why I couldn't get that word out. And just making sure everything blends together nicely. And then for highlight, honestly, I don't use the same highlight every day, but the ones I've been loving recently are, of course, my Champagne Pop, my Wet n Wild Precious Petals, and then the Anastasia Glow Kit in Gleam. This one, honestly, is probably like my favorite right now just because of how intense it is. My favorite brush to use right now is the Shop Miss A AOA Studio F19 highlighting brush, and I'm just going to mix together Crushed Pearl and Mimosa because I want like a golden look, but just Mimosa is a little bit too dark for me. So I'm going to mix those two together and just put that on the high points of my cheeks. Like, come on. How beautiful. Put that on the high points of my cheeks. And I'm bringing it a little bit onto like the apple of my cheeks, but not too much. Sorry, my phone keeps going off. And then a little bit on my forehead. Same for the other side. Right on the high points of my cheeks. And then I'm also going to put some on the tip of my nose. Like Cupid's bow. And a little bit on my chin. I have a really bad, you can't see it anymore, but I have a really bad acne scar on my chin. So I go very minimal with a highlight on my chin just because of that scar. I don't want to like enhance it because it is like kind of risen. So now, of course, I'm going back in with my e.l.f. brush and just kind of diffusing it because we don't want it to be too harsh. Alright, now quickly I'm going to finish up my eyes and my lips and I will be right back. Okay, so I just finished up my eyes and lips, and the last thing I do to finish off my face is set it with a setting spray. And normally I would use my Morphe Continuous Setting Mist, but unfortunately I ran out and have not had time to pick up any more, so I'm going to use my Mario Badescu spray today. And that is all for today's video. This is my current flawless foundation routine. I find that it really works for me. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Again, I'm sorry I was kind of like quiet and tired sounding in this video. Hopefully for my next one I will not be sick anymore and I will be back to normal. So thank you for sticking through that. I hope that you enjoyed this video and I will see you in my next one. Bye.